The palliative you want to give now
should be
will be
converted to fertilizer.
So if you know you want to farm, go and pick fertilizer. Are we together now? Go and pick the fertilizer and farm. That is the palliative that we're giving you. So most of this crop, I tell you, they take 3 months. By the 4th month, you are harvesting. So if we put fertilizer, agrochemical, and seed, we give them as palliative now. And we take care of the insecurity in the next, in the next 4 months.
4 months, 6 months.
There will be food. Because, food inflation is 40.1%.
Yes.
While the ordinary inflation, the headline inflation is 33.1%. So what that means is that will affect the cost of food. So in the next 4 months, if you can drive down the cost of food, even if the price of other commodities are going up, you wake up, you are able to eat well, you'll be able to think well.
Yeah. And that will, in a way, also drive the headline inflation
downwards.
But it's amazing because I know that, during the campaign for this election, for the 2023 elections, the current president
talked about Agbado.
How did he say it, sir? Please help me.
No, he even said that all those.
No, I want to say it in the Yoruba.
Okay, I don't want to remember the Yoruba the way he said it, but the situation is that
Agbado for everybody.
What is
Agbado for everybody?
Yeah, Agbado for everybody. That once we're able to produce Agbado, that is corn, then Agbado is the mainstay.
So can we Agbadolize the economy?
Yes, it's possible. But what the problem was that soldiers, students, coppers,
yes,
everybody will be sent to the farm. Oh, I've not seen anybody go to the farm. Look, what I always talk about Nigeria is that every policy you want to make must be deliberate. And once something is deliberate, means that you will see that people are pursuing it. Even if you didn't get 100% success, but you are still doing that consistently, like Dr. Ajayi said, it will go a long way to help all of us.
Yeah.
But we are not deliberately doing something about food.
That's it.
That's why we have food inflation.
Being intentional now.
Being intentional, you must still working at it. That's what we are talking about. We are not saying that since I am looking for them in government, or we are saying that let us see something that will give us the confidence.
And even the markets, it will give the markets the confidence that some work is,
like you said, insecurity is still there. Let me tell you, there's no way you break your farms. When there's insecurity, nobody is going to go there. Some governors are complaining already. Even Bodo that we think that everything is coming down, insecurity is going down, but they are still complaining. There's insecurity and people are not going back to their farms. Some people swore. You see them swearing that we never go to past their farm because they prefer to be alive. They're not going to go and farm and then get killed.
And again, coming back to this food wahala. If we put everything we have now into farming, you know what will happen? We'll have enough fresh food to eat. The excess we can store. Then after storage is to now add value.
Yes.
Okay? So if you have maize, for example, now, what is semovita? Semovita is a combination of cassava flour and maize flour. So if we have enough cassava, we have enough maize, what you are going to now experience is that you mix them to form that semo that you're talking about. So before you know, you are adding value. You are providing employment. You are creating, employment, and you are having food to take you to the next season. And if we continue like this, and that's why I keep saying that, look, we need a handshake with China. China has machines, but they cannot export their food. Okay? And we have food. Okay? That is not enough for us. So by the time we get the machines, take what China has, and at the end of the day, add value to it, then we'll have a kind of balanced economy. So I think that's the way we should go. So we need to drive down food inflation. Then if we drive down food inflation, that will help to bring down the headline inflation. And by the end of the day, if things are working, people will not bother about this government.
Yeah.
They will not.
Already, people are not even bothered currently. Even as
No, because you are not bothered, but at the end of the day, you go to the market to go and buy.
yeah, it becomes a problem.
It becomes a problem. That's when they remember the government.
And not to lose sight of the issue.
The naira depreciation, yeah.
What happens is that you have to produce, like I said, you have reserves, then you have to add value. You will not finish those things that you add value. You have to export them. So the Western states, Benin Republic, Togo, They buy from you. You get this dollar that you are talking about. Because they are going to pay you in foreign currency.
You know, and that is why I'm also very concerned. If you look at US, for instance, US understands their major trading partners. And you see, from time to time, governments design policies that will help to, sustain the relationship with those that are trading partners.
Yeah.
All right? And how they can further deepen, that relationship so that they can continue to enjoy.
And that's why they came up with AGOA.
Yes.
African Growth Opportunity.
Do you understand? So we that are supposed to be the major market, of course, we know that South Africa has jumped over us now as largest market in Africa.
Yes.
But again, we know that it's temporal.
Yeah.
We have the capacity,
The
we have
potential.
the potential to be the largest market in Africa, and we're going to take that.
Yeah,
price back.
let's not forget about the AGOA, the African Growth
Opportunity
Opportunity.
Act.
I think it was Obama's regime that
Yes.
brought that up. And my friends in the US are talking.
Mm.
They said, look, because they gave us liberality around the textile and apparel sector. So what that means is that you can bring finished clothing.
Yes.
So, and look at the population of Nigerians today in the US. Look at the population of Nigerians in Canada, okay, who really want to dress African, okay, and America is saying, look, you can bring in used clothes, but it has to meet up with standard. So, with that, foreign exchange can be earned, and it will help to drive down this exchange rate that we're talking about.
My even concern is why this is good to drive down the foreign exchange rate. I'm looking at it to also demonstrate that government is working. What are the policies that we have? I know that there is this African Continental Free Trade Agreement that after that they are working on. But as a country, which countries are our major trading partners in Africa? And how are we preparing our businesses,
to be able to
move into those markets,
and even take over the market.
and even take over those
I was
markets.
in East Africa, Kenya precisely. For the first time in my life, if I want to sleep here, I can sleep. So I have that sleeping ability to sleep. So, but I went for a conference in Mombasa, precisely in Kenya, and I took what they call the brewed coffee. From the aroma alone, the aroma was, they put a brew coffee here now, then you feel like taking coffee. So that was the experience I had in East Africa. So I was now discussing with them, how can we begin to move this coffee down to Nigeria? And of course, like in those days you had telecom, and you want to call Ghana, it has to first of all be routed through London before you now hit Ghana. That is 6 hours away from here. So, and the guy told me that, look, it's so difficult. It's so difficult. So, after should come to try to see how to liberalize all these things. Africa is the new frontier. Africa should be center of production. Africa should be where they produce for the rest of the world. And of course, the China story I normally say. China, highest population in the world, does not export food, export every other thing. Now look, so who can they partner with? Nigeria, Brazil, and
India.
And India. Okay, India is going to overtake in 2025. We say that India will overtake China. So of course they are not looking the way of India. They are not looking the way of Nigeria. Nigeria is not a very serious nation. So an average 1 hectare. Farmer in Nigeria does 1 hectare, about 2 metric tons. A farmer in Brazil, 10,000 hectares, small scale farmer. They've done all the soil tests around Brazil, and it means that look, they can export to the rest part of the world. So that's the story of Nigeria.
What is stopping us from doing a soil test that can prove to us what we're going to produce, and those things,
the nutrients.
Or the nutrients. I think that's what I know about being deliberate about all these things. Successive government in Nigeria always take this thing as if it's nothing. That when you are playing Ludo, it's just that figure that comes. I think that's what we are doing in Nigeria. We don't really I want to be successful. It's only the Nigerians who are individuals in Nigeria that are trying to be successful by one way or the other. They find a way to make it in life. But the government seems to play a game with everything.
You are playing kalu.
Yeah, if you say so, because how can you be there? This is what I say here. They might say we don't know anything. They might even say we don't know anything. What is it that we don't know at the back that stops you from being able to achieve all these possibilities? These are simple economics.
Yeah, they are simple economics.
They are simple economics.
And moreover, look, before you announce policy, Nigerians are very intelligent. If you go to the social media and see the kind of comments that Nigeria are putting forward, you admire Nigerians. So you have a policy, have a think tank at the back. Think it out.
Engage. That's what we said about saying. Stakeholder engagement. It's critical.
Think it out.
And Nigeria is the largest stakeholder that you have. Nigeria.
Yeah. So as we wrap up this subject on naira depreciation, we encourage the government to look deeply because while we understand other fundamentals like the issue of the BDCs, the issue of speculations, the Binance issues, and all those allegations, P2P platforms and all that, we know those challenges are there. Of course, that's why you have security agencies to do the needful in those areas. But this is the core issue because when you get the foundation right, then all these other things on top of it can fall into place. So we encourage you to look towards agriculture, look towards expanding possibilities and opportunities for Nigerians to go into the agricultural sector. And let us agriculturalize the economy.
At least that's the policy.
That was his promise.
Because we were talking about Tinubu right now. So let's agriculturalize this.
Yeah, let's agriculturalize the economy. So that everybody can go to bed eating, knowing that he will have something to eat.
Also, if you produce agbado in large quantity, you can actually sell to the world.
Yes, of course. You can actually sell to the world. So again, let's move to the next issue because we must sell to the world. Then we must look at our aviation. And in the midst of all the challenges that we have had, an airline is showing us that as a businessman, you can actually thrive in the midst of economic challenges. It's all about how prepared you are, how innovative you are, how creative you can be. And so we have Air Peace flying into London. Sir, what is the magic?
Yeah, beautiful. Again, I remember President Jonathan said that every government must deliberately grow another set of billionaires. Okay, we've had my friend Aliko Dangote, who has been a billionaire and winning back to back. Today, Air Peace is coming up. Okay, he has come to conquer the local market and is now going international.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think Air Peace deserve all the encouragement that
they can get.
Yes, everything that we need to put behind them for them to fly around the world. Since we don't have an international carrier now, the implication of not having an international carrier is that the country must first of all take you to their country before they take you to your destination. Yeah. You want to fly from here to US, for example, now, and you are going with Ethiopia, you must sleep in
this is ours.
You must sleep there. So that's why.
And sleeping there is not just you sleeping there.
No, you have to eat.
You must be accommodated. You must eat. You must not just eat. You will buy one or two things.
Yes.
That, you will see as a tourist.
Yes.
So we welcome that, and not only that again. I mean, the price of flying to London, for example, became so exorbitant. And what did they do? They drove down that price, and I mean, I'm told that they are fully booked now for the next
3 months.
Yeah. So they are now fully booked. So that means they need more aircraft. So more jobs will be created. More Nigerians will be involved. So with everything that is, whatever challenge that they have now, the government must come behind them. And even Ibo Air is trying to come up. Okay, so Nigeria is a big nation. Okay, we are in terms of landmass, we are the 32nd nation in the world. Okay, so we should use our figures to compete. Okay, so Air Peace need all the encouragement. They need more aircraft because again, I know that very soon, by the time we are hosting some of this program across the world, we want to be using Air Peace to fly across the world.
Exactly. Now, don't forget, sir, because to whom much is given, much is expected. You remember when we did our program in Tinapa?
In Calabar, yes.
Yes, in Calabar. I think it's worth saying because Air Peace did us well. They gave us 6
business
class tickets as part of their sponsorship. So this was 2015.
Yes.
This was 2015. And so you should see the trajectory that Airpeace has come in. And there are lessons for you as a business. Because we know that sometimes businesses don't like sponsoring
events.
You know, you think that there is no benefit to you. All right? But you can see now, Airpeace as far back as 2015 was willing to sponsor, you know, events and activities that pertains to businesses.
They even came. They attended at the closing ceremony.
Exactly.
Airpeace was there.
Yes, they were there. They were there. They attended the program.
And what you see with the Airpeace line, the moment you approach Airpeace, you will see that there is a peace of mind that you have before you enter that.
Exactly.
aircraft.
Exactly.
But also, there are purposes of going to Nigerians who have to fly to UK, especially because I've heard of people saying that even for Airpeace, and also let's not forget that immediately they named their price. Other airlines,
It became a battle.
Became a battle.
In fact, the international airlines kind of banded together.
Gang up.
They ganged up against Airpeace.
Yeah.
You know.
And the man had to come out shouting.
Yeah, because you needed to do that.
And like you said, government have to back up that airline to ensure that people do not bring it down.
Yeah, and I think on that note of government supporting them and backing them up, we need to also commend the minister, the current minister, not the previous one that did us.
By the time we start talking about EFCC,
we'll come to that.
We'll come to that.
All right. So the current minister of aviation, you know, on the maiden flight to London, you know, joined Airpeace on that flight, and he made a statement that, you know, they are going to be behind Airpeace, and whatever any government, you know, outside Nigeria, any government in the world does to Airpeace, Nigerian government is going to retaliate. And so we like that backup that the minister has, you know, made. That we want to see.
I want to encourage Mr. President. The next flight to anywhere in the world is going to be Airpeace that will take it.
Yeah, instead of using private jets.
And you government aircraft.
Yes.
And you know, which can develop for any time.
Exactly.
Let's leave that.
Leave that. Okay. Let's leave that. Let's go to the banking sector, because you know, you and I, we know that these days is some people are beginning to argue that it's becoming safer, cheaper, and more restful for you to bank your money in your pillow than to take it to the bank. I don't know. What do you see in this matter?
You know, there was a whole fight. I mean, not fight now. A whole talk about financial inclusion, where they are saying, look, they want to get more people to be able to save. They want to be able to get more people to take credit. They want more people to partake in insurance and business advisory services coming from the financial sector. So, but here we are, the fintech microfinance bank. You know, new technologies are coming up on a daily basis. Before we understand commercial banks now have categories. You have international, you have national, you have regional. Okay, so now you have microfinance bank, you have fintech. So there are some of those four of them that have, you know, been able to merge fintech together with the microfinance services. So all of a sudden this quarter, CBN is asking them to stop opening account for new customers. So that is surprising and amazing to us. It will not help in the development of the sector. So if there are issues, you know, go behind. That's why you're a regulatory body. So you don't have to announce some of those things to us. Because again, the way the banking system is set up now, I can assure you that commercial bank will not fail again. You remember in those days, when they announced that this bank is going to fail, everybody is running helter-skelter. So we've been able to get ourselves to that point where there are consolidations, there's increase in capitalization, and the banks are becoming bigger. You have Nigerian banks that are operating in the US, in the UK, in Dubai. There are Nigerian banks that are operating. So that means we're getting bigger by the day. So when you make announcement to say like stop opening accounts, so the customers begin to read meanings to some of those things. And I try to look into details of what that report is all about. And the fintech concern, they are saying that they are not even involved in the allegation that the CBN is levied against them. So banking sector is there to help us consolidate. Today we are talking about the cyber security levy. Okay, so these are, I mean, the art itself is a good art. Okay, but timeliness on this government, I mean, you just increase electricity tariff. You know, a friend
And the
says
deposit tariff, we are depositing, you
Yeah.
pay a lot of money for deposit.
a friend says he bought 10,000 units, and he makes sure that he didn't use his AC. And 48 hours later,
Yes. The meter started making
the
noise.
meter
Even
went off.
it's over.
So he asked himself, is it how I'm going to continue? Every two days, 10,000. And when there are no employments and all these other things are not there. So CBN should wake up to their responsibility. The next MPR is coming where they set the interest rate. Right now it's about 24.5%, and that's which is very, very high. People are talking about single digit
interest rate.
interest rate. CBN is talking about NPR of about 24.5. So where do we start from? So these are the things that we should look for a day to even look at Nigerian statistics.
Yeah.
Those statistics, because I believe that if we look at those statistics, it will help us to be able to know where we are and to know how to drive down. For example, right now we're talking about food inflation at 40.1%.
Terrible.
That is disaster.
It's terrible.
To a nation.
It's terrible.
And then, what usually bother me about this issue of CBN and this monetary policy is that why bring up that issue of fintech banks?
By suspending them from.
Why not go behind and talk about it?
Yeah.
Once you bring to the public, then people will not want to deal with them again.
Exactly.
They will lose customers.
Exactly.
This will affect their business. I think we must find a way of bringing this to the information space. We need to be careful, especially as a bank, a bankers bank, and Nigerian CBN, that should do something about not bringing businesses down.
You know,
we are bringing businesses down.
I think the thing is the government don't understand the weight behind their statements, their public statements, and that is because they don't know that Nigerians are listening to them. Nigerians are depending on them.
They're very sensitive.
In other parts of the world, like the stock market, it's unfortunate that some of these businesses are not really tied in this country to the stock market. These are the things that can crash your stock shares, your stock price,
Yeah, that's
your
true.
share prices in the stock market. All right, So I think government needs to be a bit more careful, a bit more restrained in making certain public statements. This is not part of stakeholder engagement at all. It's not part of stakeholder engagement.
Let's not forget the cyber security
Levy.
I heard from one prominent northerner this morning. He said he believed that the government have been blackmailed to make it, because it's too sudden. What's it called, power? Before you know it, after a month, not even a month now.
We have not even
Settle
come
that
out
one,
from the issue of the fuel.
Yes, we are still battling the minister that people say he has power bank in his pocket. That is using power bank to Nigerians. They follow him to the border. They say he must be using power bank. And then when he went to National Assembly to even talk to them, they have to take light. All these are still there. They will now have the cyber security levy for all Nigerians.
So there is need for them to think through some of these policies. Now the whole thing, all these things, whether it is the cyber security levy, whether it is the public statement that can affect businesses, and in this case the fintech companies, the whole people that are involved at the receiving end of all this are the workers. And for some time now, there is this issue of wage increase. Every other thing has been increasing. House rent has been increasing as a function of the fuel increase. Food inflation, like Dr. Governor just pointed out, is up to the roof at 40.1%. And transportation has been increasing as a function of
even governments has increased all their prices.
Even government has increased their prices.
Yes, because again, for us that are into training and consultancy, our regulator, from 150 they have moved up our registration now to 600, 450, 600,000. So governments cannot be hypocritical in some of these things.
Yes.
I mean, price has gone up across board. Okay, so you cannot tell me that you are fighting individuals and CEOs from increasing their price when you are also now increasing your price.
Yes.
So for the workers, the federal government is proposing 35%. Also, which if the minimum wage was 30,000 before, it will now bring it up to 40,500. And Labour is saying 615,000.
And it's not enough.
We're talking about
It's not
reality versus affordability.
No, it's not even affordability, practicability.
Okay.
All right, because the issue is now why we understand the position of Labour. All right, maybe they are looking at the statistics in terms of what rate is inflation today, what rate increase do we have in the fuel.
Yes,
all right,
fuel.
because fuel was initially 161 and 70 naira per litre.
175.
Okay, and today fuel is. Do you know I went to somewhere yesterday to buy fuel? They were selling fuel for 980
You
naira.
see the station.
Station.
Because you can't determine price in station.
Station.
No,
In Abuja, in the center of Abuja.
The aberration I even see, which I've been trying to reconcile in my mind, is to say in the last 2 months, NNPC, which is the government-owned station, has been selling at 617.
Consistently.
Why the other people are selling at 680? So I'm trying to look at the economics behind that. Where are they getting their own fuel from? And how come that large disparity? And don't forget, when you talk about naira depreciation and the black market, once there is this disparity, what's setting is arbitrage. Rent economy comes into play immediately. So I don't know if any of you have the explanation.
Yeah.
There's no explanation because
I think to a large extent there is an explanation because the only question therefore is how is it going to affect the market? Because NNPC is the sole importer of petroleum products.
Yes.
All right.
That's my worry.
And it was this NNPC that was shouting that they were paying subsidy and that they cannot continue to pay.
Yeah.
If you remember.
Yeah.
Was it Mela Carey?
Yeah.
The group
Mela Carey
was the one when this government came into power. They were shouting that look, if they don't stop this subsidy, the whole of NNPC Nigeria will collapse. Now they are selling fuel, PMS at
617 naira.
Look at the gap.
For the constantly since last year, they are so cheap. But others are selling at 690.
We're even talking about Abuja, Lagos.
We're talking about Abuja.
You know, you say you bought fuel at 900 and something.
980
No,
in Abuja. I refuse to buy. No, I refuse to buy. I didn't buy. I told you guys this is black market. I didn't come. I'm not prepared to buy black market.
No.
Okay.
If you go
I left not quite a distance. I bought at 690. So that is the point. I am looking at the fact that we need to also begin to look at our processes, as a country. We need to begin to look at the market deeply. FCCPC needs to begin to, look at these other sectors of the economy. They are required. Sir, the independent oil marketers are taking advantage of Nigerians. Simple and short.
Because when you say there is no problem between that disparity,
yes.
You know what will happen? The staff of NNPC filling station, they know that fuel is 680 somewhere,
yes.
And they have it at
617.
So if you are in their shoe, what do you think you will?
You buy one.
You said allocation. You said allocation. No, you said allocation.
Of course, that is what is happening.
You said allocation.
That's what is happening.
Because but why is it difficult for Mele Kyari or NNPC to explain to Nigerians why that big disparity? Now, let us move round it up to 629 and next talk of a station my own estate is selling for 605 naira.
Yeah.
605 naira.
Yeah. So for me,
for 620 that's 75 naira difference.
For me, I think
difference?
what we are going to do, sir, in one of the next edition we're going to be having, this special edition we're going to be having, we're going to look at regulatory capture. We're going to look at the regulation of certain sectors in the country. I think the problem we're having largely is the problem of regulation.
Yeah, it's a problem because when a regulator also wants to be a player, it's a problem.
It's a problem. You understand? So that is the major issue we're having. But back to the main issue of the workers and the
fuel issue is one of the biggest.
Yeah,
it
is.
That's talking about transportation.
Exactly.
But the most important thing before you round up this session, I'm looking at the implication for MSMEs now. Okay, Edo State Governor just jump,
Announce 70,000.
just jump the gun, announce 70,000.
Yeah.
Okay. Meanwhile, minimum rate was 30,000. Okay. So I'm now looking at the private sector, especially the micro, small, medium enterprises.
Yes.
Will they be able to match that figure?
Yeah, it becomes a big problem because that is also one reason why the federal government has been careful in terms of agreeing with labor on what they are recommending, because you don't take the economy piecemeal. You look at it holistically. All right. So I think it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, you are a labor person. There is a proposal that we have that will help to address all these issues. So I think all this one we'll discuss at the back end.
Okay.
We'll discuss
Yeah.
that
So
at the back end.
we'll engage.
But government should understand that, look, if there is a sudden jump in that price, the MSMEs will not be able to pay, and it will lead to disenchantment. Okay, and that old age problem of people preferring to work in government will now rear its ugly head. So you have a situation where the MSMEs that are the drivers of the economy will be losing staff to government on a daily basis. Because again, if the private sector is probably paying 40,000 and Obaseki is paying 70,000, you rather want